it's November, October 14th, 2001. This is the Capital Improvement Program Committee. For the upcoming fiscal year.
Attendance.
Oh, attendance.
Dana Hadley.
Susan Roth.
Craig Fournier.
Paul King.
Russell Tatro.
We're missing Roger Becker at the moment. But I think we're going to start. What's the best way to approach this?
Russ, was Emmett coming in?
No, Emma can't make it.
Okay.
Probably to talk about the submissions that we received and what we're waiting for. Do you want to talk about that?
Well,
I have a couple more submissions. I apologize, they're late.
okay.
And as you see, my office skills aren't as good as they may have been once. Mine is just really some ideas on the town hall.
Here's what came from the chief.
And I will pass those out as soon as I have them in a form that you can.
And I have a copy of the
So-
spreadsheet
Make
that
sense
I'll
of
need
them.
with Emma.
So, do you want to talk about this police department, Phil Mitchell? Is that what you want to talk about?
That's one of the submissions that we received.
Yeah. I mean,
The police?
yeah.
I don't remember seeing one from the police. I saw one from the fire and the road.
Yeah, the police one was just an email Phil Mitchell had sent me.
Yeah, and
I must have missed that one.
well, take a look at this. This is,
You got one for the fire and the road?
Yes, so I did a spreadsheet. Emmett came into my office and talked to me about what he wanted. So I
Oh.
put it all into a spreadsheet based on the years, and I have a
yeah,
copy
I
of the
saw
spreadsheet.
that. Is that table 9?
Well, table 9, I brought 3 copies of table 9 with me.
Okay.
If you want to look at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm up to Sue.
Guess I didn't see the one for the roads.
So there was the transfer station was the first tab, because he called me.
Yeah, there were 3 tabs on it.
There were
yeah.
3 tabs, and then there was the highway, and then there was the fire department.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So, let's talk about the police first. I mean, is that okay?
Yes.
There's an item of $7,000, replace firewall hardware and software. And, I worked in software, and that seems high to me. I don't know where they got a quote from or whatever, but.
Would you like to see more information about that from the chief?
Yeah, I would, actually.
Okay.
I mean, maybe, we have a company that does it.
We do, and I haven't seen any estimates from them for that, and I probably should have. So I'm going to, we just replaced the server up there. So I'm a little puzzled with
Yeah,
what it is we're talking about.
He had submitted it in for last year's budget. The firewall and other software has not been replaced. We extended the warranties for now to save money. This was from last year.
Right. Okay, well, the police department has a new server that's been replaced.
Right, but he's talking about the firewall and,
Well, I can't imagine them not doing, and I'll find out.
Yeah, we need
Okay.
to talk with the,
Yeah.
great.
IT people and see.
I want to make sure that I understand if the server and the firewall are different items.
Right. I mean, generally,
It was always submitted like that. He said, here talked about the server, and then he also
Yeah.
talked, so I don't understand either.
I mean,
Okay,
I'm just thinking that, I wouldn't think that the computer company would have said, here's your new server, and you're on your own with the firewall.
Right,
But,
right.
Right.
you know.
All right, so that needs a little looking
but the other
I
two,
don't-
everything else would stay the same.
at. Yeah.
We put-
Well, didn't you say base radio is 7,000 or something?
Yeah, I think
Base
you said you
radio.
wanted to go to 7,000 with the base radio. According to what I have, what you just showed me here.
Yeah.
Right, base radio goes into 2022 for $7,000.
Okay. Okay. Fire department. Any
What about the
questions?
rest of the stuff on the cheap, about the safety building, on the memo?
Replace AC. Furnace. He wants to replace.
He wants to put a number on that, but I thought we already put a number on that.
Well,
Right, in 2017,
Yep.
we had two options from Huckleberry Propane and Oil. We updated the numbers, the prices, but we probably should go back to them again. What do you think,
I can
Paul?
go back to him, I can email him again and have him update that quote to a more modern, and we can do that.
Would you like to have a copy of this?
I have it,
Okay.
yeah.
Basically, it's for air and heat. You know, removing the old system, setting in the new ones, and replacing it with one large unit. And they wanted $92.50 for that. But they also, but right now there's 3 units. You might want to take a look at this. There's 3 units. They gave us 2 different options. One was to replace all 3 units. And option 2 was different. So Paul was the one who met with them to,
I mean, these quotes look okay to me. I don't see any problem.
yeah, but they're old now.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
all.
They're old, yeah.
Yeah.
I will get them updated to
I
a
mean-
more modern number.
As long as they're under 10 grand, I don't see a problem.
But we would probably want to make a decision. The town would want to decide which way do they want to go.
Yep, yep.
There's 2
So
options.
when I get home, I'll email them and
Okay.
I'll get it updated. And I'll send it to, or have them send it to Russell or
Yep,
whoever.
that's fine.
Do you want
And I
you?
can forward it to everybody once I got it.
Yep.
Do you want this sheet?
I don't need it because I have it in my computer.
Oh, okay.
I'll give it to you.
You don't want it back?
Important historical document.
I did remember seeing that.
I think I've seen this before.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think we talked about it last year, maybe.
yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably talk about it again next year.
Not that it isn't
Yeah.
a fascinating subject.
All right, what's next?
Fire department. Air packs. So,
No, I mean on the memo from the police chief.
oh, floor painting and stripping.
We had a quote for that for $5,000
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
in the public safety building.
And that's in the where the police are, right? I mean, is that the whole building or just?
Well, there's where the police are, and then there's the fire department offices, and there's a hallway and a kitchen. They certainly aren't talking about where the trucks are, I would think, but. What is he saying, stripping the floors and?
Floor painting and stripping should be done to protect the concrete. We gotta protect the concrete.
Well, then he might be talking about the bays.
That's been in there for a couple of years too. I don't know, I believe that information might have been submitted from the chief, so,
I can follow up on that.
we start with estimates, and then, of course, for projects over, what,
Right.
$10,000,
Need a little
you have to
something a
get
little
the
more
bids.
concrete, yeah.
But,
Painting and stripping, so what do you have to do to strip it?
maybe they're painted concrete.
I mean, they have kind of a, what is it? It's kind of like a plastic material you put in concrete.
Yeah.
I mean, it's liquid and.
You mean like a protective thing?
Yeah.
I know it's, I've never really noticed it that much. Painted floors is painted.
Yeah, well, there's different types of
So
coatings.
does, maybe you have to take that off before you paint it again?
I don't
Yeah.
know. We just need to
Yeah.
talk to somebody who knows what they're doing.
Then there was the parking lot and the pad.
Do we want to do anything about that? I'm inclined to put that one off.
When are they
The
gonna be doing
pad has
this?
been a
I know they've been
real
talking about it a long time.
long time, yeah. And the safety committee's talking about the pad, the Joint Loss Management Committee.
Did they have a quote for that?
What do you, I don't think so. What did he have, what did he think it was?
40,000, I think it's
Is it in? I don't think there's anything in the document about it. And there's nothing on his memo.
No, because they've been going round and round, they didn't know what they were gonna do with it, and
Yeah, I haven't
nobody's
heard a
made a
quote.
decision.
I'll follow up on that too. Sorry,
Great.
I don't know.
they didn't know if they were gonna dig it up. I mean, at last year's town meeting, we had
Yeah.
dig it up and do a half-baked job of putting something down and resurfacing
Yeah,
it.
'cause there was an
putting
issue
concrete
that
down or
maybe
putting
there's
asphalt
water
down.
that gets under
Right.
it and, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
I think we need to solve the water issue before you do
Yeah.
that.
And for the repaving of the parking lot, that was kind of tied in with moving the salt shed.
Yeah. What about repaving this lot?
We are scheduled to do that next week.
Is that set in stone, that job is gonna be,
It is set in stone.
was that something that was voted on the town meeting to have that done?
No. No, and I know years ago there was an issue with the neighbor, but we have an issue with ADA and the parking lot, and David has pushed to have that done.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
So we're
because
doing
it's-
just up there, we're not doing down here?
No, we're doing both sides.
Both sides,
Both
all of it,
sides.
all the way to the back?
You know, I don't know if it's gonna go all the way down to the end of the building,
Mhm.
maybe not.
Okay,
But up in front of the library
Yeah.
and the driveway in, and then up the side.
okay.
That's good. I'm glad you found the money for that.
Now, where's the funds coming for that?
There are funds coming out, some of the funds I think are coming out of the capital reserve fund, and some are coming out of the budget. But don't quote me on that could change, so I'll.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's another thing that's helpful, Craig, is that we would have a budget that shows what's in the capital reserve funds now,
Mhm.
as we work through this. It's a little early because it's so far away from the end of the year,
Right.
but it gives you an idea. Sometimes there's, $30,000, and then we make the recommendation, take part of it from
I
that.
meant to bring that up with me, because I do have the balances in the reserve funds. We get it every month from the trustees,
Right.
that they keep us updated.
So that helps to know, because there's money sitting in the ETFs and the CRFs.
So what are ETFs
Expendable trust funds
and
and,
CR?
and the capital reserve funds.
What's the difference between those two?
Well, this is what they tell me. Sometimes it's hard to know. Capital Reserve Fund is a project in the future. The other fund is if you have an emergency mid-year and you need to do something quickly.
Okay. Thank you. It's all new to me.
And both of them are generally earmarked.
Yeah, and they have,
For
they have
project- for something specifically.
specific items that they have. And I'll bring the list plus the balances next time. I should have brought it this time, but I didn't.
That's how they show up on the warrant too. They show up what fund
goes to which. yeah.
you know, when we go to town meeting. So, since we're on town hall, what about, these two projects that were in there for last year? There was 10,000 for the exterior painting of the cupola.
Yes.
Was that done?
That has not been done, and I don't know if you need my little papers that I put together or not, because one of them was the painting, which I would like to have done next year.
Sure, yeah, we can pass them out.
Okay.
We went to the trouble of doing all that stapling.
Did you see me stapling? I know it.
So we're gonna move that 10,000 to the 2022.
Okay, here's one group.
One set, you mean?
Yeah. Oh no, there's each staple
Pass it around.
is one's for you and one's for
Got it,
everyone
got it.
else. So let me make sure I gave you the right one.
First one was,
No, I didn't give you that. Here's the painting right here.
thank you.
Kitchen, painting town. Let's see, here's update kitchen.
So I need to get an updated quote.
That was good, you did that.
Hope you can read my writing.
Oh, yeah.
The last quote we had was $8,500 for both, and that hasn't happened. I would like to see it happen next year, and I'm sorry I didn't bring the trust funds up because we do have money in there that may help cover that.
What do you mean for both? For both, what is that?
For what?
You said for both. The maintenance items.
What did I say? What did I say now?
Were you talking about the,
Painting of the town hall?
right? No, the
Ah.
town hall exterior painting cupola, it says.
Yeah, that's for both.
Both.
Yeah.
Both meaning what? What two things?
The painting and the cupola, they separated them out of that.
Oh.
There, yeah.
There's two different paintings. There's painting the town
I
hall.
call it as
painting-
one, but
Okay, I see.
they're separating the costs.
Okay.
Yeah. Because the cupola requires special equipment so they can get there.
Oh, I see.
You
So,
know,
so
I mean,
both
the
of
others,
them.
I think they would, probably similar equipment, but.
And is painting, you're painting the exterior of town hall? Is that-
Yes, that's the exterior.
Okay. Exterior painting plus cupola.
Yes.
It's on, down at the bottom, very last segment.
Yeah, so what's the number? We're gonna put 10,000?
Well,
He had, what, 13?
I have 13.2 for the total, but some of it we have in the capital reserve fund.
So like.
We had 10,000 that you've been earmarking prior
Right.
to this.
Right, and then you're also suggesting to keep 5,000 in there for each year.
Yeah, and I think that's the, I'm thinking to,
I think that's a good idea.
I think that keeps it even and kind of a,
Right.
we can chip away at projects by using that. And I did that with the balance in the fund already. I think it's important not to, you know, have so much money in the funds and not use them for what they're intended for.
Yep.
Because there's no sense to that.
So the changes would be put 13 to.
So it's really, we had 10.
Right.
It just kind of, and that's my, I don't know how I came up with 13.2 of all things. Maybe I did a mathematical equation, but, and I need to get another quote for
For
that.
2022, Russ, and then the other years you put 5 on the chart.
So the wrong dates on there?
Could you say that again?
They're the wrong dates?
No. It's hard to do this with masks.
Yeah,
Yes,
it
it
is.
$5,000 across each year.
Okay,
13.2 for 2022 and 5,000 for the next 5 years. This is 6-year plan. That's the recommendation. Are you following this?
Oh, say that again. Please.
Sure. So, based on the submission from the town administrator,
Right.
he's got one quote for 13.2
Two.
to do the painting and the cupola painting as well.
Right.
And then he's also suggested, this is part of the project, we say, in order to keep a fund there, we'd like to put 5,000 in it each year, because there's always something that needs to be done at town hall. And then we have a fund in there that can be used, it's cataloged to use for town hall maintenance.
Right. I got it.
And that's kind of how it works. It's like buckets of money that you just keep a little bit in each year. And then let's say the furnace goes, you know, you've got $30,000 in it. So that's how that would look on the chart. That's a good example.
We've spent a lot of money on this building this year, and we've had the pump went, other thing, I mean, it just, these things happen.
Oh, yeah.
And you had the money in the,
And we did, so
Yeah.
I mean, that
Yeah.
really helped.
I'm all in favor.
just like not administrative
Yeah.
budget, but it's for items that are cost at least $5,000. And that, you know, I have it's a tangible thing. They have a useful life of at least 3 years. It's not in the operating budget.
Right.
Okay.
I have another one, and I didn't finish my thought, but it says building renovation to accommodate on the
Mm-hmm.
down at the low, but I meant to accommodate ADA.
Right.
And there are several areas of the building that doesn't conform to ADA, such as there's no handicap entrance for the cafeteria or the kitchen, and the bathrooms are not ADA compliant. Previously, the office, the door to the town offices are not compliant either. However, we are working with a company to upgrade that, so that might be actually done this year or early next year.
Did you do that? Did the town do that full-scale study of what needs to be that Leslie had talked about doing?
Well, Leslie had some paperwork on it. I'm not sure how full scale is what I would call it, but
Right.
there was
It was kind
certainly
of
a comparison to what the ADA
Right.
requirements are and what we have.
While you're on that same subject, that's an exit for safety.
Yeah.
That back stairs is not safe.
Well, I've been working with back stairs, and I didn't think they were too either. So I've got someone coming to look at them, but I have had some people give me a different opinion. I think that the stairs aren't as bad as the landing when you go out the
Landing,
door.
yes. Yep.
You know.
And that's because the gutters have never been cleaned out.
Yeah, they've been cleaned.
They have now.
They have. Yeah.
Get rid of all the forest.
We got rid of the
Rid
forest.
of it, yeah.
I have to tell you, the kid that came to do it, he was from Boscawen. He gave me an estimate for $100. I couldn't believe it. And I said, "Are you sure you didn't make a mistake?" And he says, "Oh no, that's what it is." And he came with a ladder and he hung at the side of the. I didn't want to look at him, but oh my gosh! And he says, "Oh, I do that all the time." It's unbelievable,
That's a deal.
you know.
Now, are
but-
they gonna put a screen up there so the leaves won't come back in?
Do you think it makes sense?
Yep.
Does that? I've had people tell me you shouldn't put a screen because in the winter it freezes and backs up on the roof.
I've never
You?
seen a gutter yet that doesn't freeze, so.
Well, I haven't either, but you know.
At least
I
it
don't
keeps,
know, Paul. I'm asking if. what
at
you
least it
think,
keeps the leaves and stuff, the debris out of it.
You know, or certainly we could have it done as a regular maintenance.
Yeah, for
I know.
$100, $100 you can do that. Get that kid's number, man.
Yeah, can I have it?
So I don't really have quotes on this. I put 15,000 in.
You think it's a good idea for us to add it as a line item, ADA renovations under town hall improvements, and then we'll put 15 in, but we'll probably change it before.
I think so. I'm really wanting to get it on the radar is what I'm trying to do.
Right.
Yeah. And I
You really have
realized.
to do that because it's the
Yeah,
law.
yeah, yeah.
Is that good with everybody else? And what about network switch and firewall that was on there?
That is no longer valid.
So
You
that
can
comes
take
off.
that away.
All right. Great.
Is this network connected up to the,
We're not connected, no, no. And I believe by law, we can't connect to the police because they need to be separate. Am I right, Russ, on
You are.
that? Yeah, okay.
okay.
Yeah. I thought it'd be a great cost saver, but I was corrected quickly.
Yeah. Makes too much sense.
You're not allowed to see that.
You know.
So then you have one more thing, update
I have
kitchen.
one more thing, it's the update the kitchen. And again, this is I put medium, I don't know if it's low, it could be either one. And again, the kitchen is needing updates. The church did give the town 2 new gas ranges. We're working with them on a new refrigerator. And the select board had agreed a couple years ago to buy the church a refrigerator, which we haven't done yet. The cabinets could stand to be upgraded, as well as something done to the floor. And I was going to ask someone to come in and get a better price on what it would cost.
Kitchen work's not cheap, no matter how you cut it.
I put one in a few years ago and it was more than 10. I think it was maybe $12,000.
Oh, yeah, I mean, 15,000 is a
It's much more than I thought it was going to
reasonable
be.
number.
Okay, so,
But what's the floor like down there?
It's a cement floor, painted cement. I think that it would be better if it were tiled or something like that.
It would be a lot better.
It's hard to clean and
Yep.
it doesn't, even when it's cleaned, it doesn't look.
the sink is ancient,
And the sinks are, you know,
It would
really
be
ancient.
better to get like a 3-compartment sink in there with a sanitation bin.
yeah.
Because that's the standard restaurant, we use it for a lot of catering events.
Yeah.
And
big-
usually you have the primary wash, the sanitation, and then the regular rinse. And maybe we could upgrade it and get that.
Right.
Without
Sandy
losing a lot,
wash.
without
Put up
losing a
there.
lot of space, counter space. I don't think you got enough room to put it.
Well, you would remove, there's 3 sinks there already, but they're separated.
You got 2 now.
There is the one
There's 2,
2-bay
yeah.
sink, and then there's a deeper sink on the
Oh,
far
yes,
The
yes.
side.
double
okay,
sink
yep.
and the.
So in other words, we could
Yep.
get rid of that one and then make 3-bay sink
And
in
then
the
move
middle,
that cabinet down.
and then move that cabinet
Okay,
down.
yep, that would work.
That would be my thought.
I think this is all a good idea. Spend some money on this.
You know,
And
just,
also the cabinets there are getting stuck. and not
it's
able
getting,
to-
they're
It
getting
needs to be
tired.
done.
They're
They're
getting
just
tired.
not.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Um,
Functioning.
So I put 15,000, and then I really, number 7, I would ignore that for now, because I'm not sure what else.
I also reached out.
Okay.
Are we, 15,000, are we gonna do any more work in subsequent years?
Probably. I don't know what it is.
And that's
yet,
where he was
but,
trying
you know,
to add.
In the fund, yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, what we've done in the past is whatever the submission is, we put it down. And then at the end, when we look it all over and we add everything up, and we then maybe go through and fine tune it a little bit. And we have different chords.
yeah.
And if you think it's a good idea to put it in, because it might not get everything.
I mean, obviously, I look at it as the wish list, and I
Right.
understand you can't always do everything that's on your wish list.
And then the select board makes their
And then the
decisions
select
too.
board, I mean,
So, I think it's okay to put a couple more years,
Yeah, I do too.
as you've suggested. Do you think, Paul?
Yeah. I mean, we're not using the kitchen right now for much of anything.
it's not being used much because of the COVID, but
Yep.
at
But
some point, hopefully,
It will be.
it will be.
Yes.
And it is picking up already. We've already had.
I guess they've used it a few times. They've had
2 funerals. We have an
receptions
event
down
this
there.
weekend for
Okay.
it.
And then the church usually likes to have dinners.
Yeah, but they haven't had a dinner down there for a long
No,
time.
because of the, yeah.
Because of the COVID.
They haven't had one since I've been here.
No.
And being that I like to eat, I've been disappointed about that. But so those were my, on the building part of it.
Okay. Did you pass out something, Russ, from the
I did, and I brought a copy of it for myself to look at, but if you want me to go make another copy real quick, and everybody can do that.
for some reason, I just missed that on the email.
Yeah, it was an Excel spreadsheet, and I put 3 of the departments that had reached out to me. And
I
they
saw
talked to
the
me
transfer
about-
station.
Yeah, the transfer station was the first tab, and then there was 2 other tabs. One was for highway, and one was for...
Highway and fire.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
And the highway one, I'm a little less sure on what Emmett wants for some of the exact road maintenance. But I understand some of the comments he made on the side. I wrote down notes for what he was asking about. And he was going to try to make this meeting, but he was unable because he had a conflict of scheduling.
So highway, he's looking for to continue road preservation. These are so small. I don't know why this.
Well, because it wouldn't fit all on one page.
Oh, okay.
I tried to make it, well, mine's as big as I could get it.
Okay.
But he was looking to keep the road preservation and the highway and construction the same.
Okay.
He just had a question about how it would be spent, because for the highway construction, because he thought that was designed specifically to be a little bit easier for him to use, and he wanted clarification.
Well, it depends on the
On the
purpose,
project.
according to the.
Right, he
Trust-
wanted to understand how the wording was a little
For
bit
example,
better.
Concord Drive, which has just been completely rebuilt, that was construction.
Right.
Preservation is another animal. And last year, you remember, you changed the larger portion went to the other account. So I think
Yeah, we flipped it.
you flipped it, yeah.
Well, these,
Did he tell you, I'm sorry, Craig,
you know, it's-
did he tell you which streets he was thinking about?
Did not tell me what streets.
Okay.
I was just gonna say that the problem with these buckets is there's no transparency into it. You know, what are they spending on this stuff?
Right.
And I understand it's hard to get info from,
It goes to my point that you can get too much money in the fund and
Mm-hmm.
not plans for it.
I thought there was something in there about White Plains Road.
Yeah.
There is,
There
that
is.
was the,
Culverts over Meadow. Well, first off, were these things done last year? I mean, in 2021, was
Yeah.
the White Plain culvert over Meadowbrook? That wasn't done.
That
no,
was not done.
Right.
no.
Is that, so what is it, is it still 175 for that?
No, I think he's got White Plains Road. I'm not, does he mean the bridge, the culvert, or does he
It
mean?
means the culvert.
Yeah, the culvert and or
And he
road
says,
work.
and that was
Okay,
about 3 months, or the last month when we talked about it. Things are a little bit different at the moment.
right.
That Dana can fill you in a little bit more on that. But
Yeah, we're having a terrible time with White Plains Road, and we may be, please don't repeat this, but we may be changing horses when it comes to the engineer, because it's just,
I'm in favor of that.
Very
I think
frustrating.
I think that's the way to go.
So you have to get a new estimate for that, maybe.
so.
Yep.
Okay.
um,
So
Well,
was
he has
Manchester and New London Drive water ditches done last year?
Don't-
Yes,
I mean
yes,
this
they
year.
were,
Okay, so that line comes out, Russ.
yeah.
Okay.
And that's what we usually do. We say what was actually done,
All right.
Right,
and then
okay,
we do like to request, as Craig has suggested, what roads need to be worked on specifically this year.
Right.
What projects do you have? I mean, the road preservation, the $200,000, that number was arrived at a number of years ago, where Emmett did a detailed study of the costs to maintain gravel and paved roads in general,
right,
and
right.
also the plowing and so forth, sanding. But then the next, that's an ETF, but then the next fund, the CR 638, those are usually specific projects.
The plowing and sanding does not, at least to my.
That doesn't come out of
That
it.
has not come out of that.
Road
account.
preservation,
Yeah.
okay, then that,
Yeah.
I'm wrong about that.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember, but,
That comes out of the operating.
so what projects did he list?
Let's see, what's he got on here? He's got Lake Road and Hollins Drive.
Well, that's
for
still there.
2023. Was that on there before?
I think that was on there before.
What's the amount of money?
Well, he's got 25,000 2023, and then it goes 2025, 250,000.
And then another 250.
And another 250. Is he rebuilding Lake Road?
I would have to ask him for
Yeah.
further clarification, but the
Okay.
project, he said, he thinks he can get a better price on that to bring it down.
Yeah.
The 25,000 was already in there for 2023.
Oh, that's probably why it's there, yeah.
So I don't know if that stays or not.
And
Yeah.
I can get more clarification
I mean,
from him.
let-
There shouldn't be a problem.
Lake Road is not that bad, is
I
it?
don't think it's all that bad,
No,
no.
I don't think it's
I've done
that
it
bad.
cross it a few times, but it's been a while. But
Well,
And
and
then-
this is also scheduled for several years down the line, so we don't know what it's
Right.
gonna look like.
I mean, the thing about Lake Road is it's not a heavily
No.
trafficked road.
No.
So they're better off putting, in my opinion, putting money into like Deer Meadow Road and some of the more heavily used roads.
Well, we were doing sections of Deer Meadow, and this year he did Concord Drive to Cedar Mill,
He,
but that really wasn't done yet.
he didn't do that yet.
He's just working on Concord Drive now.
Yeah, he did.
So I'm not sure that this section that was for this year was done.
I think they've done some work on that. I don't know if they're finished down there, though.
I think he had one more section of Deer Meadow.
Maybe
Do
that.
you remember?
he had two sections. He did. I think he's done them both.
Okay, so that would help to see if that first,
Because that whole road now has been paved.
what I'm looking at is chart.
Well,
Yes,
no,
okay,
Is
I
this-
have
is
that.
this-
There's a
I'm
few
looking at this.
sections that haven't
Right.
done.
I understand.
Well, I think it was just up to
Because-
Centennial,
That's how we
Right.
From
start, we
Centennial
have to
back
see what he's
to-
done.
Right.
whatever. that is.
And I can try to get a
And
list
it was
of
done in
whatever
two
he wants to
sections.
work on
Yeah,
next year.
And I
That
believe
should-
both sections have been done.
I got a good report.
And
with
we'll
it.
talk to
asphalt.
him.
Yeah.
Good.
But from Centennial on,
What else was
it
there?
needs some work.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
That, well, he's got Deer Meadow for next year. Deer Meadow pulled back 1 year.
Put back 1 year. He wants to put it back 1 year.
So it's 180,000?
That's what he put down, that's what he requested.
But what are they, I mean, that brings up the question, 180,000, what are they gonna do?
Oh, I see. It's got,
I mean, that's a lot of money if they're gonna rebuild it or
let's see.
Or
Well,
just
rebuilding
pave
a road
it, or
costs
what?
a lot of money.
It does.
what does?
And right
Rebuilding
now,
a road costs a lot of money.
and right now asphalting costs a lot of money.
It's much cheaper to maintain a road than it is to reconstruct it.
Right.
Okay,
So
so
the objective is to
180,
keep
he's,
it up to standards.
that's what he means. We had
but
it
not
at
fall
21, he
into
wants to
that
put
kind
it
of
the next year.
condition. But
The 22.
that's
Yeah.
always the issue with municipalities is when you go and take one road back up to being high condition,
Okay.
2 others fall off.
Yeah.
And then you're in the same situation next year.
What
Okay.
about, any other?
So let's see here. He is starting to work on Pleasant Street.
Well, that was in there,
I don't think he's done anything at
hey,
Pleasant.
Roger?
Hey, Roger.
Yeah.
My apologies.
It's all right.
Reconstruct Pleasant Street.
We have another sheet for him.
Yes.
Sorry.
That's okay.
That's fine.
I'm doing well.
We sort of gone through the police department, the town hall, and we're now on highways and roads, which is always sort of problematic.
We have discussed this, but that will add to your paper collection,
Oh, okay.
which I know you need.
I have quite a paper collection.
Was there any other Reconstruct Pleasant Street was already in there for.
That was in there, yeah. And that's,
125?
I think he's just started to do that.
Okay.
Because when I went by today, it looked like something was happening.
I'm not sure why that goes all the way across every year. The 125 went across for
Mhm.
6 years.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
750,000 for,
We might wanna double check that. Well, you think he'll coming to the next meeting,
Yeah,
maybe?
he was intending to come to the next one.
yeah,
Okay.
I was
And
hoping
And he
he'd
also
be here.
doesn't think that number is accurate, because I made a note of that, he was talking to me about it.
The 750,
The 750, so he was looking into that.
okay.
Did he mention what he wants to do on Pleasant Street?
I mean, I can ask him.
What about Pond Hill Road culvert? That was always on the list, but I don't know if it was done or didn't have any money attached to it in the past.
He's done work on, I mean,
Maybe that's done.
Pond Hill's an emergency lane, and he did work up there because.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
he
probably
did
that.
some work
Yeah.
this year on
Yeah.
that.
That should probably come off.
Yeah. So I think that may be done.
And does he have Detour Road on that? On the new list, I mean?
Well, they didn't put, Yeah.
Detour Road reconstruction, I can't tell if
no,
there's,
he put any funds in that one.
I don't see any money
There wasn't any
to
money
that
listed
one,
in that
okay.
All right, that one was on the list for the future, so we'll have to ask him about that.
Okay. I'll make a note to ask him.
All right.
So,
Then we-
excuse me, Clothespin Bridge, $50,000. What's that?
That's something that's going into the capital reserve, I believe. Because we put money into there every year for the bridge.
Okay.
That should be what it is, but
Yeah, I thought that was the last payment for the bridge.
All right. So what's the amount of money in that account? Do we have any idea?
This is actually the,
I should
Somewhere
go get-
close to 750,000.
Yeah, I should get you the balances.
is it gonna
It's
start?
got adequate money really to cover.
But we've been putting that 50,000 in there every year for quite a long
Well,
while.
yep.
75,000?
I think we bumped it to 75,000.
Yeah,
$75.
here's the sheet. Take a look at that, Roger.
So it said for next year, we have to pay out $400,000 in 2022.
We're
Yeah.
expecting Clothespin to be replaced after July 1st next year,
Okay,
All
so
right,
that's
that would be really fun.
budget is probably gonna stay the same then.
which is
Yeah,
probably,
but then we gotta follow up on Knights Meadow.
right.
Right.
But the bridge fund does have
We,
some good funding in it,
Yeah.
so we do have money for Knights Meadow.
yes.
Yes,
Is that
You should.
on,
we should. Yeah.
The Clothespin Bridge is a deal with the state, the
Yeah.
80-20. deal.
Right.
right,
Yeah.
I think that's the way to do that.
Knights Meadow, the town's paying for it.
Right.
Yeah.
that's really not in here, I don't think, Knights Meadow March isn't in here.
That's
Well,
Oh,
the
that's
White
White
Plains.
Plains,
Plains
that's
Yeah,
right, I always
White
Road
forget
Plains.
culvert.
that. Okay, got it,
Yeah.
okay. So were there any
You know,
other new ones?
I probably shouldn't do this, but I know when I was town administrator in Canterbury, we had a bridge that needed to be replaced. And we got estimates from the state to do it with the state's 80-20 split. Well, in the end, I looked at the proposal the state gave, it was like 1.2 million or something like that. And I got together with the road agent, we looked at it, and we decided, my God, we could do it much cheaper than that. It turned out that we did it a hell of a lot cheaper than that, ignoring the 80-20 split. We did it for like 175,000 instead of 1.2 million.
Well,
But you're building this thing to state specifications. It's gonna drive you right up a wall.
well, let the engineering firm deal with that.
It
Well,
costs
I think
us a
you have
lot of
good
money.
point, Roger.
Well-
That's true. I mean, state projects are over-engineered.
Yeah, that's
um,
true.
Really more. I think what you're saying is that the 20% would have been more than what you ended up spending.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. So,
But
just to add one thing is,
there was a
this-
decision made to do it the 80-20. That was,
yeah, the decision's already been made, and the other thing is that it's gonna require some new abutments, new road alignments, not just like plopping a bridge.
Yeah, it's gonna be set up a slightly different, it's also gonna require some work with the property owner on the side that we may need an easement from him. So that always costs money.
But yeah, I'm happy with this 80-20 thing. I mean, it's already.
I mean, the 80-20 is a great program,
We're gonna,
but it,
yeah, we're gonna get a good bridge out of it. A 2-lane, nice thing with,
there's a lot of cost in there that the town doesn't have to deal with if they do it themselves.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm not sure we have the expertise to supervise that, to be honest with you.
I'll send Russ up, he'll take care of it.
Is that it for the roads?
I don't have any more.
Yeah.
But we will get Emmett to give us some answers to these questions, and hopefully it'll be much better if we could have him come and talk to you, because
Yeah, he could answer all those questions
He knows,
right here,
yeah.
right here.
yeah.
Hopefully, yes.
So what's left? EMS and fire department?
Yeah, and then the transfer station.
And the transfer station.
Transfer station's pretty straightforward.
The transfer station, we just use whatever numbers that we get from Hopkinton.
Yeah, that's why I said it's pretty easy. That's
Yeah.
what they told me, and I put the new numbers down.
Right.
Oh. Well, I guess you have to.
Yeah. That's how that works.
But I know the big thing if we want to go to emergency services was Emmett expressed concern that there's not enough to replace the fire truck in 2024. That was one of his. He says we have enough for the tanker truck, but he didn't know if we were going to have enough to replace the regular fire truck.
So he's trying to replace 2 trucks?
Well, I think one was slated to be
Yes,
replaced,
yeah.
and we have enough for this one, but the one that's next slated to be replaced, due to the increase in cost, we don't have enough for it.
Yeah.
Where would that be on the, we
So,
don't really have a line item for
is-
He
that.
doesn't have a line on it.
So is that a
Well,
new
then he
thing, the
needs to
tanker
put
truck
one on
is?
Because he says we have enough for the tanker truck that's currently estimated. He gave a current estimation of it. And he's concerned that we won't have enough, and he says the fund's currently $600K. And if the trucks are gonna cost about $450,000 to $500,000, we won't have enough by 2024 to cover that cost again.
So out of the $600, he's buying 1 truck
Right.
for $500,000.
Well, for
Or
current
yes.
quote is $453,249.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to pad it.
And we shouldn't.
The current quote for the tanker truck is what?
This big,
453,249.
453,249.
But that's subject to change because
440, right?
he's having to go through the whole, because it got delayed by COVID, he has to start midway and go in and
And
again.
is that gonna be for 2022?
Should be.
Okay, so that stays the same. What about ambulance? We're gonna not,
Well, he said there was no money in the fund.
right?
I know he wants to replace an ambulance, but we currently have no money.
You know, I hate to be a curmudgeon,
No, go ahead.
but we do not use that ambulance enough to warrant buying a new one for $400,000, let's say, or whatever the number is, but it's a
Yeah,
big number.
yeah.
We don't use it, we don't transport it. Look up the records. It's a total waste of money. You can get what surrounding towns call a rescue truck, which you can load somebody into and take them to the hospital. Or you have mutual aid, which we pay for. But I am dead set against spending that kind of money for an ambulance. You have nobody to man it.
There's a staffing
and
issue.
Yeah,
it-
that's the
it's-
key.
It's a total waste.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I just find that
Yeah.
very, very
Yeah. That's
unwise use of money.
That's a good point, Renzer.
And I'm willing to get up and say that. I have no problem
The
whatsoever.
committee feels in general that we don't wanna fund an ambulance. That's what we decided last year, I think.
I think we had the same conversation, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm good with that.
do they want air packs again?
Yep.
He's got 20,000 in there on that, so.
And they wanted to see if they can get a new base radio with the ARPA funds, but if not, they wanted to replace that.
But it's not what?
But it
They
seems
wanted
like
to see if they can
just
use
got
the
that.
ARPA funds, the American Rescue Plan funds, to replace the base radio, but if they couldn't, they wanted to put that in on the C.I.P.
And how much is that?
He had said $5,000 should cover it.
It seems like we just barely went over that air pack not too long ago, and he bought enough to, I mean, how long, do we have to replace them after one use?
No.
I mean, I'm not a fire department member, I don't know what's going on with it, but it doesn't seem like it's been all that long since we just bid, what, I don't remember the number of them, but
We
That's
can
a
look
lot of
back
money.
in the
Replaced
records.
quite a few of them fairly, I was here, so I remember that being replaced, so I could find that out. But I wouldn't think you have to replace them. They must have a life, but whatever it is, I
Yeah.
can't tell you, but.
well, I can understand putting the $20,000 into the capital reserve for them when they need them. If
That's
what it's
probably
for.
what he's trying to do.
If that's what he wants to do, but
Yeah.
I can,
Yeah.
I think you're kind of stuck with the SPCA's. There is a lifespan. You do have to replace them. And I'm not sure that's the place to conserve money. They need to have reliable air packs if you're going to send them into a burning building, or even if you're going to send them into a smoldering building or whatever. But they need to be reliable. If you're going to have them, they got to be reliable.
but looking at this sheet, it says 20,000 every single year up until 26, and that tells me that they want that into the capital reserve, not to buy them. You're gonna spend 20,000 every year to buy air packs?
That's how I take it, that he's saving money to buy them.
Yeah, which is what
That,
we set this thing up for to begin with,
exactly, the whole point.
to keep money in there, so when you need them, money's there, you don't
Right.
have to take it out of taxation.
Yes. Right. Keeps the rate a little more stable.
Yeah.
So that's all he had on that.
Nothing for the EMS.
He didn't give me anything.
Well, the only thing he's got that relates to EMS is the ambulance, but he's not asking for any money for that.
Right.
Yeah. And the emergency management director, Rob, he said there was nothing that he could think of that
Yeah.
needed. Yeah.
He's usually the one that gives us that
Yeah,
EMS.
yeah.
Okay. Were there any other things that came in?
And that was it.
That was it,
We
I think.
received that the library wasn't making any request. I didn't receive anything back from the Conservation Commission. And I think that was the extent of who we sent it out to. I did that, the town clerk also got one, she didn't have any requests. So I think that's about it.
Okay.
On the back page of that sheet, they got one for the transfer station. Have we been over that?
Oh, we haven't been, no.
So they basically told us what the funds would be looking at, which is the trailer for 2021, the second trailer for 2022, third trailer for 2023. They're putting in for a baler in 2022 and a packer in 2023 and the loaders for 2027.
They don't have the building in there?
They didn't request anything for a building.
They must have not decided not to do that.
Yeah, because last year they were talking about a building. And
They
did they add a trailer?
that
I think they said they were talking about adding a trailer. Didn't they talk to you about getting a good deal on a second trailer?
Just in passing. but,
Just in passing.
You know.
That's the only.
Well, I
believe
mean,
they already have two.
their loader is really new. I mean, it's a nice big loader they've got there. I'm wondering if do they want another one, or do they want to replace that one, or what are they doing?
We are actually, the board is meeting with them. Well, the joint meeting with Hopkinton for the operating budget. I should really talk to, can't come up with the man's name.
Neil?
Neil is the town administrator, but the public works director
I don't remember.
has a name which I cannot come up with right now, but I should talk with him.
Dan Blanchett?
Yeah, okay, that's him. Yeah. Oh, if I'd read down enough, I would have gotten
I couldn't think of it.
it. The Alzheimer's is setting in.
Okay, so you'll maybe just double check that.
Yeah.
So
Alright.
do they purchase those loaders or do they lease them? I mean, that's another question.
Well, I'm not really sure, but it looks like they purchased them from what
Yeah.
I'm looking at. Unless they have like a lease purchase program type
Right,
of
right.
arrangement. But that's, Hopkinton would do that through their books.
I gotta swing out.
Okay. So what's next, Craig?
What's next? I don't know. It's-
How long do you think it'll take to get some of the quotes? You wanna give it 2 weeks or?
Well, yeah, I think we need to give it at least 2 weeks. I'm finding that I ask people to give quotes and it takes much longer than you think
Yes.
it should.
Everybody's busy.
Everyone's busy and the whole thing with the COVID and the lack of health and everything else. But yeah, let's try for 2 weeks.
You wanna let us know when you get enough
Yeah,
in?
I can do that. Was I going to ask them about the furnaces at the public safety building? Is that what we?
No, I'm gonna get the quote.
You were gonna do that, okay.
I'm gonna update the quote. Yeah.
Perfect, okay. Need an explanation on the floor stripping and painting at the public safety building?
Yeah.
And the paving of their lot.
The pad for
The pad.
safety committee.
I'll just verify with Emmett about the air packs. The trailer with Dan Blanchett and Hopkinton. And the painting estimate. I suppose I could talk to a builder about the ADA idea. See what they
Yeah,
think.
those, I mean, it's good we put some money in there for that, but it could be expensive.
Yeah, I'm sure it's probably more than what I thought, but
Do you know when the select board wants to start working on the budget?
yes, I do. Our first budget is Monday,
Yeah.
starting to.
Okay. We usually give this to them near the end,
Yeah, right. They're just
because we're not quite ready.
starting. I mean, their schedule is they'll be all done talking with everyone by December.
Oh, okay.
And we're trying to do it a little different this year and call the department heads back so that they know from the select board what they're not going to approve. If anything.
Mm-hmm.
But- So, last year, what was it, November something, I think you gave, no, sooner than that. The planning board did it in August.
October 28th,
Yeah,
or right around the end of this month, yeah.
yeah. Well, maybe the end of November then.
If we could try to get it before Thanksgiving.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that would be good.
Is that a good goal?
Yes, as soon as we can.
All right.
I think we're done unless
First
anybody else has.
CIP meeting is over, I guess.
Alright.
Do you have anything else you want to?
No, We just need more info.
You what?
We just need more information from various departments and quotes and stuff like that.
I'll hit the machine.
Right. Russ, if you decide to update the spreadsheet or something, just